Hello YouTube, welcome to this 7th video of the Land Rover Series 3 rebuild. In this video I am stripping the transfer case, cleaning it with petrol. I'm going to send it off to Ashcroft to have it machined and to put a gear set in it for high ratios. The Ashcroft high ratio transfer gear set. Something like that. And in addition, we've got a few parts to open. This job has taken a little while, and although it's not a great deal of content for the video, I haven't made huge leaps in progress. It is going to be a little bit long. The strip down of this gearbox took a long time. And yeah, let's have a look at some of those new parts. I don't think I'm going to get the engine done in this video, but what I might do is to release another little video detailing a bit more the work on that Ashcroft, the work on the transfer case, because I just found there's so very little on it on the internet, on YouTube. So I wanted to put a little bit up there for anyone considering the work and maybe doing it, stripping the gearbox. So let's get into it. It's been quite a number of weeks since I've had anything, since I've done anything on the Land Rover now. I think I reached this point, the end of video 6, before I'd released video 1, so it's been something like 6 weeks probably. But it's time now, I'm getting on with it. So the engine and the gearbox is split. The gearbox is on the bench because I want to strip that first, because I want to get this transfer case off to Ashcroft for a high ratio transfer case swap. So that's where I've started, and once again I sort of forgot to be filming, so I've taken the brake assembly off, and I'm just working on disassembling this now. So let's get right into a time lapse. That's the gearbox as I described, like any car really, except you'd have your prop shaft on the back of here, on say the Scimitar or something like that. That is, I believe there's a seal in there as well, so the two oil, the oil in the gearbox and the oil in the transfer box are kept separate. It is covered in oil, so I'm hoping I might be able to replace a seal in here. And yeah, I know you can get the seal for the back here, so that'll be it. We don't actually know how good it is because the owner only drove it 100 meters up the road to get it here, but it's everything on this, axles, transfer box, engine, it's all seems to be in pretty good health. It's just old and crusty. It actually, the mechanicals are in very good shape, so I'm going to leave it alone because I don't want to get into it, to be honest. And if it does pop out of gear, that would be very unfortunate, but I don't suppose the owner's going to do masses of miles in it or anything, so providing it doesn't pop out of gear, fine, we'll leave that. And this, now I've taken this transfer box apart, everything's in great shape. All the teeth look brilliant, the bearings are super clean, and none of it needs replacing, which is fantastic. So let me switch cameras here. There we go, folks, that is all apart. The gearbox comes out of there, the idler shaft comes out of there, which is this component. That's the idler gear set, and then this is the gear set which drives the front and back prop shaft. And this was a little bit of a nightmare to disassemble, but it's done. Now listen, if you are watching this for instruction, which is probably not advised, but if you are crazy enough to be watching this for instruction, then I'm going to release a second video just on how to disassemble this because it was rather complicated. And I found there was very little on it, okay? So there we go, that is disassembled. Next thing is to store these safely because it's all good. Order the seals I need and gaskets to put it back together. Nothing else is needed really. And then clean it all up extensively and clean this up ready to send it off to Ashcroft to have that high ratio transfer machine work done. Okay. I've tried to fit the fuel tank. The pickup tube went in alright, no big dramas there. This is the filler neck. When I was opening parcels I thought it was something else, but that's the filler hose. But this is useless, these screws don't fit very well. And they don't tighten down enough, so... Oh, it's so frustrating, man. These are the screws like the old tank, they don't fit the new tank. They just about go in, but you can't screw them down too far, so I'm going to stick some Hylamar blue on there, just as belt and braces. It should be alright then. So I'm waiting for that to come. Plus this sender unit was rubbish, absolutely rubbish. The kit comes with... Hang on, what's happening there? Oh, there we go. Yeah, the kit comes with a very long bar with nothing on the end of it, and then another very long bar with the hoop on the end of it, so you can make it to any length you want. And it has these three tiny crappy clips that don't really hold the wire together, so I tried clamping it, no joy, so I just got an M8 and drilled it. But I've had to keep it as far up the pivot as I can because it's heavy, and if it's down in the middle this doesn't float anymore in the petrol, but I've tried it in a bowl. It does float, and I've also cut off the excess so to minimise weight. But this isn't what you should be doing with a new product. It should just work, but there we go. It's done now, or it will be when I get the Hylamar in. So the tank is fitted as well with the fitting kit. So it's another little job off the list, I suppose. Yeah, and the transfer case is all ready to be picked up now, off to Ashcroft for its work. Yeah, that might have to be about it for this video. I've got some cleaning to do, but I've run out of petrol to clean this up with, so a bit of scraping, and I want to clean this as well. Put the end back on because I didn't need to remove that end, but I'm going to make sure everything's nice and clean. So that's kind of it for today. Is the gearbox now all cleaned up? I say all cleaned up. There's a bit of fingerprinty there. I haven't actually finished, but I'm showing you the good bits. There's still a bit of work to do in there. You'll see. But you can see that this has just been cleaned with petrol outside. That's it. I put in a paraffin gun with a toothbrush and a scourer. You can get away with it with aluminium, but I wouldn't recommend it on steel. But, so yeah, it's coming along anyway. That's the gearbox all cleaned up. The transfer box is still with Ashcroft. Those parts are still over there. I haven't really done anything in the garage, so they're not dusty or anything. Ready to go back together. So the transfer box goes here, and then there's a snout to it here, which is in the kitchen, and I'll go and show you that. I've put it in the kitchen because it's all nice and clean and ready to be reassembled. That's the snout of the transfer box. That's loose. I've got new seals, new everything. I bought a whole rebuild kit for this, so this has all been cleaned up with petrol as well. So this is not oiled. Parts of these surfaces aren't oiled, so I've kept them in here in the warm, so they're not going to corrode too much. Bearing's perfect, in really good shape. So that's ready to go back together. I'm just storing it in here where it's nice and safe. I think I've figured how it goes back together. So that's it, waiting for the bits back from Ashcroft, and then that can be reassembled. Yeah, there we go. Much for tuning in. Sorry it wasn't such an eventful video, but hopefully it might be a little bit of a delay. If I can wait for that transfer case to come back, that'd be a really nice video to get that assembled, and then I can crack on with the engine. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you are still enjoying this series.